different tools and like the different crystals. Can you
Ooh.
see
Oh
if my
yeah, I can. Yeah, that light does help a bit.
you could probably move it? Okay. Yeah, so that one's like an amethyst. It's probably hard to see.
I
Maybe if
can
I
see when you move it in the light. It's so beautiful. I love amethyst.
so this one's so cool. It's like if you so people get a lot of like liquid and like inflammation here build up. And so the inflammation, it ends up like turning into these little crunchies, these like calcifications in your jaw. And
Mm.
when I first started using this tool, I noticed I was like, all these crunchies were like happening. And this tool is really good. The amethyst in particular is good for that calcification. So if that's like, if your jaw is kind of your area that you need the most work, I would recommend an amethyst one. And it's also, you know how we've kind of, have you heard about like the pineal gland and how like our toxic lifestyle kind of like calcifies our pineal gland?
Yeah.
So I really like to meditate with this one, and I just lay it there, and it like, you know, it lays really well. And I feel like it really helps with that decalcification, you know,
I
of the,
love that idea. Oh, that's so good.
yeah, right? And then I have like, oh, there's so many. Okay, so jade, this one's super cool. Okay, so jade is like, yeah, naturally cooling. And it also has, so the, you know, like our chi energy, it has the very similar chi to human, like,
Oh,
yeah, it vibrates the same, all that stuff. So it helps you on that level, that energetic level. And they also, they found jade in like tombs, you know, so this is like ancient, you know what I mean? Like they've like dug up bodies and they've had these tools made out of jade, and then nephrite, which is a very ancient one. It's my favorite. And this shape of tool is my favorite. I'm gonna start
wow.
selling these ones. So
Mm.
it's got like these little ridges all along the bottom, which really help. Like I use it mostly in my neck to like break stuff up and then smooth it out. Same thing with my forehead. That's where I started noticing my wrinkles, you know? So you break it up, you know what I mean? You're kind of like, you're bringing energy there. You're, you know, it's all about things being stagnant. And that's a big reason why we start like aging. That's why lymphatic drainage and facial massage should just be like a part of everyone's routine on a daily basis, you know? Like it's
Right.
so important for our, you know, it's incredible. um I think that's why I love these so much. It works on so many levels, right? That's like your energetic level, your, it's everything. I love it. And you know, like massage, even just massaging yourself, if you don't want to spend money on a tool, at least start investing time, you know, and energy into your face
Yes.
and your neck too. That's another thing. Like
Mm.
that's so important because it's all connected, right? Like up here is not separate from here, you know? And I always like to like put that energy in when I'm doing that, like, right? Like helping people connect here to here. Do you know what I mean? Like our body and our mind one instead of this separate thing, you know?
Yes.
Okay, and then they also have like bone. This is the one I started with. I'm not super into it. It's not my favorite because I love crystals. I'm just like super into crystals and oils and stuff. So, you know, it's it's good for some people. It's good for the people that are trying to, well, okay, I got it in a set that's more for your body guasha. Um, and they're lighter and they're thinner. And these have like a heaviness to them, which I feel for your face is like really important, that weight of the stone, because a lot of the time that's what's working. It's not even you putting like pressure, it's like actually just gliding the stone and like using the weight of the stone, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
That is
And
so cool. Oh my God, you have so many goodies.
so many. Oh my God.
Love it.
And then, have you heard of the Kanza wand? These are really cool. It's like,
No.
oh, it's super cool. So this, about the copper in Ayurveda, they believe it's
Yes.
like, okay, so that's with this basis going on, it's a lot less intense. I would recommend it for like people who are older and maybe have like thinner skin, and the guasha might be a little intense for that, so I would recommend this. And again, it's going to work on that energetic level like so much, you know what I mean? I work this like on my third eye, just constant. I don't know, I just feel like I feel the power.
Yeah.
It's amazing
That's
stuff.
rad. I love that thing.
So you have like so many options as far as that. And then I also have this little tiny thing, and this is for acupressure. So we have like so many points in our face and our ear. Our ear is like filled with these points. You could work on your whole body just in here. It's incredible. And it works, like you can even just use your fingers.
This is why I always want to massage my ears, I guess, because it
Yep.
helps my whole body. It
Your
just
whole
feels so holistic, so relaxing, just helpful.
I do so much of that in my facials. It's like so much ear work and like scalp. There's
Yeah.
just so much going on there, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. We just forget that, like, how simple was that and how good do you feel
Yeah.
just doing, you know what I mean? It's wild. Okay.
I know, it's so true. It's like, I just could do this all day. It just feels so nice.
And like when you're in front of that screen and you're like working, and then it's like, I need a break. Maybe like your 5-minute break is like you rubbing and
Right.
touching, I think we all grew up with like, don't put oil on your face and don't touch your face,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. And it's the opposite. And that frustrates me. So I'm just like telling everybody, like, do this.
Love it.
Do you have your roller?
Yes.
Okay.
My
So
rose quartz.
I love it. How have you been using that? Just
So I haven't really researched exactly how I should use it. So what I'll do, like with the larger end, is I'll just kind of make like upward strokes like this. And especially like right, it's always a bit cold, which feels kind of nice.
that's a
And I'll do my neck too.
good
Um,
job.
and then the little part, of course, more around my eyes. That's another thing I really like to do, is like massage my brow line, like my ears and my brow line, like the main. I feel so good. And so then I'll just kind of I like what you just said about the weight of the stone, because I really don't have to push hard or put a lot of pressure into it, just move it. And so, yeah, I'll just kind of do this and just sort of like, just bring some, circulation into there. Sometimes like here, like just between my nose and my cheekbone. Yeah.
You're like hitting all the acupressure points. Like that was intuitive, and you just nailed it. So
Oh,
I totally believe like everyone naturally, like, just start playing, because there's not a lot you can do wrong. You know what I mean?
right.
These points are incredible. I love these. I mean,
Yeah,
sinus headache, go for that. I mean, it's
right.
that point. And then here, right in there, I love that point. And I feel like people a lot of the time either hold stress like up here
Yeah.
or here. So it sounds like
Yeah.
you're more in here.
I'm very conscious, like when I meditate or have lots of going on in my head, I'm very aware that this is where my body holds tension. I can literally feel the energy collecting there. So I'm always like aware of letting that soften and just being with it, letting it do its thing, and then trying to kind of draw myself back down here, because it's just like everything is getting stuck. So I just want to like bring it down. And then here I really like, and I know that like I've always clenched my jaw since I was like a little kid. And I think it's something I do in my sleep still. So I just try to massage around the jawline and like between the cheekbone and the jaw too. Yeah.
Yep. So much tension there. That's where I'd have
Yeah.
like all. It's like,
And you just push in there and you're like, oh God, there's stuff to release.
there's we hold it, you know. It's a great way to, when you're like actively working on yourself, it's a great thing, you know, to release all those feelings. We hold feelings and fear and like, you know, anger, all these things are stuck in there, and we can heal ourselves with massage and care and love and all these things. I mean,
Yeah. And I studied cranial sacral therapy,
oh,
and
cool.
that was just so much fun. So, and I've learned I can just do it on my, I mean, when I first was practicing it, I was doing it more on myself, just to feel the movement of the, not just the energy and the fascia, and kind of like in my skull, like feeling the membranes kind of shifting and all of that, and then feeling it on other people. So as I practiced that and got better at it, I was like, I could really just make this my own, you know, self-care thing. So sometimes before bed, I'll do it like kind of around my face. I'll also do around my low belly, because that's where I need a lot of attention to.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. There's so much we can do. Like, it's amazing.
Magic.
Yes.
All right, so do you wanna, I figure we can get like into so I usually massage my clients and myself for a little while before I start getting into the guasha, just because you wanna wake everything up and start like, we're almost gonna like work out our face muscles,
Yeah.
you know? Keep everything really toned and tight if we work on these things, and it's really going to help with anti-aging, but also like depuffing all these like other things, you know.
Right. Okay.
So let's get into this face massage. So we're going to put a little bit of oil on. I do a decent amount, like a dropper full,
Okay.
and then I just warm it up in my hands.
What's your oil blend?
So today I have blue lotus
Ooh.
and Zandra and sea buckthorn, and those are all infused for 3 months in some organic jojoba oil. Oh, so good, so good.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then I added a little helichrysum and a little bit of frankincense,
Ooh,
which
very nice.
is a great combination. What about you? What do you have?
So mine is also frankincense and helichrysum. I also
Nice.
added geranium, lavender, and juniper berry in
Ooh,
a base of organic jojoba oil.
beautiful. I love it. Good stuff. All right. So usually I'll just kind of hold my face, hold my forehead, hold my neck, and just like intention, like just have so much intention. Like, we are here to relax and enjoy this, you know. This
Yeah.
is like self-care. So I really like to get these muscles right here. I mean, again, another point where we just hold so much stress. So I love to get that. And then I kind of come up the neck. And just, it's not like crazy intense, it's just really gentle. Sometimes I'll like, there's all these pressure points here. So I like to kind of hold my ear and just put a little pressure. And then I kind of come down and push into these points and bring it down my neck. And you're going to kind of pump right here. Just work your lymph a little bit. And again, this is like, having some water near you is really good, because this like work stuff and you want to like drink and flush it out, you know. Important. So then I'm going to kind of come into here, and I'm just kind of like, I'm not pulling too hard, but I'm using like gravity a little bit, pushing my face forward and kind of ending at those points. And I'll do that again. And you can feel that cheek muscle, you know. I like to just kind of pull. And this is really good for anti-aging. We're kind of just like working with like gravity, you know what I mean? Like, okay, the opposite. Like, all the way through. And I'll do some like pinching, so my like that. And just kind of come all the way up. There's a bunch of lymph going on right there. So I like to pull down when I'm working like in that area. You're just helping your body do its job.
Right.
Okay, now we'll kind of get into the third eye there. Oh, this is my favorite. Like, yeah. And then there's a muscle right here above your eye, so I like to pull that one. I mean, if you do this every day, you will notice like you're a lifting in your brow. You can literally like manipulate your face muscles, you know, you can work them. And come into here. And then I like to do this. So it's kind of like, yeah, you're like dragging little C's, you know. And that's just like really getting those lines. I think a lot of people start seeing that in their 30s, maybe 40s, you know. Like, what the heck is happening? And if you can feel that, like the circulation is like going now, you know? Like
I can.
it's like a couple minutes. That could be what you do. You know what I mean? And that's great. But I like to go a little further.
Yes.
Okay. Shake it off. Yes. Now I like to put on a little bit. So I have like a rose water. So whatever kind of toner you have. Preferably like a hydrating one, something that's gonna
Mine has black spruce, ylang ylang, and helichrysum.
Ooh,
water.
that sounds I love it.
I love black spruce and ylang ylang together. Oh,
totally. I have to get that black spruce one. I've been like checking that out. Okay, so since you have a spoon, we can start doing some of that. So one of my teachers, my teacher down in Seattle, Lynn, she was talking about how her family, they use spoons. You know, she's Chinese, ancient, like her grandparents and stuff. They would use spoons, and that's how she learned like with one of those soup spoons, you know, those ceramic ones. And so, you know, that when I heard that, I'm like, oh, okay, you can kind of make anything into a tool, you know. Like when me and James go to the beach, we'll like pick up rocks sometimes and they just look perfect, so we'll start rubbing them on our face and we're like, oh, this is a great tool, you know. Like a random beach rock, you know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that.
It's awesome, right? Like anything. So I like to like open up the neck big time. I think it's super important when you start working here, you need to like relax down here before you can actually get deep into here. You know what I mean? Like if everything's really tight here, this is not going to relax for you. So really getting into your neck. So I'll like hold it flat. I don't want to like be using the edge. I want to be using like the back. And a lot of the time I'll put it in the fridge or freezer, so it's really cold when I do this. Because usually when I do the spoon, it's like after I do face yoga. So I'm like working out my muscles in my face for a while. And then I do this to like cool it down.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Smart. I like
that. So I just come up. Can you see where?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of on either side of the spine is where I'm going to start working. And I pull up and I like wiggle a little bit. And then I'll do that same thing on this side. Now I'll start coming down and getting into my shoulders even. Just being really mindful, like not too much. I mean, your neck, you can really go hard. If you feel it, you can go hard. But I think it's a little bit harder to go hard with something like this because of the shape, you know?
Shape, yeah.
So yeah, well, that's
The curve, yeah, it's nice because it's like you have the density of the spoon, but it's curved, so it kind of contours to your body.
It does. It does. And so there's these two muscles here, the SCM. So you don't want to go super hard on those, but you do want to work those. Those are like for a sweet spot.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of the time I'll come up, and this is just kind of what I do with my guasha. So I just kind of am mimicking what I would do. Very light movements, you know, nothing crazy. And then what I think it's more about connecting for me, right? Like that was a good flowy kind of move. And then I start coming into the chin. I like to like support with my hand. You're kind of like hold that skin there just to make sure you're not like pulling too much. And then really get into that lip, and you'll kind of feel like your cheekbone. And then I'll come down. And what I'm doing here is just kind of bringing down that any waste that could have just come up by doing that, you know.
Right.
And I'll head back there. I kind of do this like 3 times. So this is like, it's like a lighter version than guasha. So if we had a tool, we will be getting just deeper on that next like level, you know?
Right.
I really like here, come up here. And I kind of go here, and I do little circles on the temple. And when you're working up here, you don't have to pull down as much because it's not as much like lymph or like puffiness that goes on up in there. Usually all that's like down here, you know. So you can really, I mean, if you really want to work certain spots, like I squint a lot because I wear glasses. So I have this line that I've been working on, and it's definitely a lot less than it was. So just like getting into those like little trouble areas. We're bringing oxygen into the blood is what we're doing, you know, which is just something our faces you don't normally get enough of, you know.
Right.
Okay, and then I'm gonna switch to a tool.
Yeah.
And then if you want to keep going, you can do your other side just the same as you just did.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start working with this tool. So I like to bring this like way down here. It's got the points on either end. So it kind of like with the spoon, I had to go here and then here.
Yeah.
This are like getting both of those.
I need that one. That looks so great with the little edges.
I think you'll love it. You'll love it. It's cold, it's like heavy, it's exactly what you want for a tool. And I'll get into my neck like. So this is where you can go pretty hard, you know.
Yeah.
It's all up to you, but I hold Calvin all the time. I'm like, oh, I always have neck stuff.
Right.
And now there's a couple like acupuncture points, like lung 2 is like right here. So a lot of the time when I'm pulling down with this one, I'll come down and then over towards that lung too. And then a lot of the time I like shake it out. I just feel like energetically, it's just something that happens really naturally when I'm working on myself or people. And especially with these like black stones that pull negative and pull stress out, you know,
Right.
you really want to just like clean it and cleanse it. I mean, I do a whole little thing, you know, whole ritual about it. And it all started for me when I was pregnant with Calvin and I needed something, right? And so this kind of became my thing. There's not much like research on using it on pregnant people. There's, you know, some people say don't do it and some people say it's fine. I personally have not had a problem. I know the few pressure points that you shouldn't hit in your pregnancy, but none of them are really up here.
Right.
So I feel very confident with it, but that
Right.
is something to be aware of, you know, and trust your gut and go with whatever you feel.
Yeah, coming back to that idea of like it's our body, our choice, just really like doing what's feeling good and trusting that.
Trusting it, you know. It's been such a cool journey because I feel like doTERRA helps you begin to like trust yourself, and then you start seeing it in all these different areas of your life. You're like, oh
Yeah.
my god, that's powerful.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of doing the same idea as what we just did. It's a lot about just working that you're trying to get rid of any adhesions, any like buildup, anything like that, stagnation. Like you just are opening everything up and getting everything flowing. And you should really start feeling it. After a few minutes, you're like, whoa. And people always say, they're like, oh my God, it's such a light thing. I didn't realize it was so like gentle. It's a very gentle thing. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to work so hard that you're feeling sore after or anything like that. I have definitely done that. It's not.
Yeah, and lymph, is very subtle. It's not something that the body doesn't respond to being forced into something. It's more of like a guiding. So
Yeah.
I feel like we're just guiding the lymph.
Yes. It's an awesome way to explain that. Like you're just guiding, you're helping, you're like influencing, you're not pushing or, you know.
Right.
I like to do this one because it feels so good. Just laying the stone on your skin, and your eyes are super sensitive. It's the thinnest skin, you know. So
Right.
you never go too crazy, but those rollers are really good for around your eye because
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
yeah,
Just the coolness and
hmm
the feeling of the stone.
And you have the rose quartz, which is cool. So it not only does it open up your heart chakra and like calm you down, but it's ideal for like sensitive skin.
Hmm.
People maybe with like rosacea or acne could benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got extra like it if you freeze it, it's got like extra powers there with the anti-inflammatory like
Ah,
quality.
like just put
Yeah,
it in the freezer and then use it.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like even just for like 5 minutes, you know, 5-10
Okay.
minutes before it'll be you'll love it. Even with that tool, like you could put that thing in the freezer
Right.
and use that and you'll see. So yeah, I do a lot of like lifting here. I'm just working with the muscles, you know, and if you're at home doing guasha, I think it's important for you to go online and like look up a map of your face muscles and you'll
Mhm.
see, you know, and then you have like an idea of what you're actually doing underneath the skin, you know.
Right.
Uh, it's it's interesting. There's like these two really big ones. There's a little bit going on in here. There's a lot of muscle right here. And then all through here, and then these big ones here. So it's good to just know you have like a little bit of guidance.
I've always had very strong smile lines, like even as a kid.
Me too.
It doesn't really bother me that much, but as I'm getting older, I'm like, okay, that's pretty prominent. So maybe like just doing these would help those.
Very, very much. And I'll teach you
I've never
actually.
actually done, so this will be interesting.
Yeah, no, smile lines are like obviously my biggest problem. I have like double smile lines. It's crazy. But
I don't see it as a problem. I think I don't even know what you're saying. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Yours too. I think it is attractive. It's like, okay, happy life, right? That's what
Yeah.
they say. But a really good one for smile lines. So there's a muscle right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you take your tongue on the inside of your mouth and do these little circles, all right, and come down from here, and then you're gonna bring it down there. So you're ironing it out from the inside.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of like power there.
And make your tongue stronger too.
It does. It really does. Look at my tongue.
Like, ooh. Oh my god. Holy shit. All right, that's like my new goal.
Tongue.
Oh, this is a really good idea though.
Isn't that great?
The inside out.
Mm-hmm. And then with the tools, you're doing it, so you're getting both angles. It's awesome. I mean, I've noticed a difference in mine and very quickly, And there's so many like moves you can do just like with your mouth. There's some really like funny ones, like, okay, so stick your tongue out. I mean, do you feel how connected your tongue is to your face muscles? Do you feel that?
So it's like a massive stretch in here when you really push it out, and then like a lot of work in your jaw, like in a good way.
Good way. Yep. And then this one's cool. I don't know how to explain it. So what we're trying to work on is this right here, right?
Right.
And so it's like how do you explain that? I don't even know how to explain.
Like you're trying to kind of lift it. Yeah.
Huh?
And like the rest of your mouth does whatever weird things it does. Yeah, I like that.
Isn't this so funny? Like, I love this. This needs to be a class.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then, do you want to see a really funny one?
Yeah.
Okay. Take your top lip and you kind of like tuck it under.
Yeah.
I used to do this when I was a little kid.
I did too.
Right?
Yeah.
You stick your tongue out on the side. Oh my God, our faces.
Fun.
Isn't it fun? But do you feel that? Like you just work out your muscles, like hardcore. Like you just went to the gym. I mean, truly.
There's this lady that like always comes up on my Instagram, whatever, an ad like face yoga, and I'm like, she's so right. And I just kind of watch different things, and so I would just like play around and do all sorts of things, because like there are so many muscles in our face.
So many. It's like, it's insane. It blows my mind. Every time I look at the little map, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much going on here.
And it totally makes sense that like if you want to like lift your face, just engage the muscles. It's like any other part of your body. Like if you're just passive and then doing things, it's just not going to be as beneficial, I feel like.
Totally. I mean, it's like, so as we get older, we lose the collagen and the elastin, but we also lose the muscle, and the muscles start sagging because we're not like working them. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's really important to be like a expressive person. So you're moving your
Yeah.
face a lot,
Yeah.
doing things like this. I think also like, you know, there's a lot to just like these type of things. You can use your knuckles. Knuckles are awesome. Like our hands were meant to massage our faces. It fits perfectly, right? Like, do you feel
Yeah.
that? That's incredible. And you can do that same thing along here. And you're gonna be lifting, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of people start seeing this part get a little weird. So if you put the,
Weird.
it gets weird.
It's weird.
So if you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, okay, you can feel that muscle, right? As you press
Yeah.
on the roof of your mouth, feel it come down. So
Yeah.
just push that a little bit.
Push into that muscle.
Yeah, it's like resistance training, you know?
Oh, right. Now I see what you're saying. Yeah, this is
Now
the
you're
thing.
working that. You're working it, you know? And then, so as you do this, you'll notice all of a sudden you have like more muscle in your face. Sometimes your like cheeks can get a little more defined and like
Right.
here gets nicer, you know? And now when you have the muscle and you eat the proper foods and like take the proper herbs, you can really build that collagen back up. You know what I mean? You can work on these muscles and it doesn't have to be like that it just all starts falling apart. Like
Yeah.
you are in
Yeah.
control, you know? I mean, it's your habits. It's what you choose to do with your time. If you feel
Totally.
like sitting down and drinking wine and eating a bunch of sugar, like, no, that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
Oh, and like you can use all the creams in the world, you can use all these things, but if your diet is not good and you're eating a lot of sugar, it's gonna show up in your face through acne, through pimples, through like wrinkles, all of that. It's amazing how much sugar relates to wrinkles and aging. So just want to throw that out there. I try and really have low sugar intake, and I try really hard and I still eat a ton of sugar. So I think it's just important, like just trying, you know, just being aware of like, okay, a couple grams of sugar is a lot of sugar.
Right.
Truly, you know.
When I talk to my clients with like Pilates and movement and yoga and just overall health, you know, I know for my own self, like when I've adopted new habits, it really only stays with you if you just take it step by step, you know. And I know what it feels like to be like, oh, I have to change everything right now, you know, but you really just like take one thing a week or a month, you know, maybe one thing a month, and just like bring that into your world. And then it's like, then it feels good, you love it, you enjoy it, you do it without thinking about it, it becomes like part of your existence. And then you add the next thing, you know, and just take it slow. But yeah, I
Totally.
mean, I think of how like much I used to crave sugar and how I was addicted, which most of us are. And that was a long process for me. And that was more for my gut health, which of course is also your skin health and your overall health, your immunity, everything. And
Mhm.
it took a long time. And I feel like my body had a lot of detoxing to do with candida and different things. And it's just a process. Yeah.
It is. It's a long, slow process, and I think for everyone, I don't think anyone just like, oh, change, you know. I mean, I'm 6 years clean, so I'm in recovery, and
Amazing.
that thank you. That's it's crazy to like hear that. I'm always like, whoa, okay, that's huge, you know. And a big part of that is going day by day, or like sometimes like minute by minute, you know what I mean? Like
Right. Minute by
it's,
minute. Yeah.
you know, like if you're thinking like ahead in the future, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can't do that because I can't live forever without something, you know what I mean? Like that's just like the way my brain personally worked. So what I had to do was like find ways to come into the present moment and let go of the past and the future, and like
Right.
that practice alone started making like healthy changes a lot easier as I
Yes.
started making those
Yes.
is okay, like it's one thing at a time, it's little by little, and I'm gonna screw up, like I'm
Right.
totally gonna up sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
gonna like do the wrong thing. But like, what do you do from there? Once you do the wrong thing, what do you do? Do you like sit there and get mad at yourself? No, no. You acknowledge it and you're like, okay, I did this. Now I'm gonna move forward. I don't want to do that. Like, keep going. Don't give up. Just keep going. You know,
Yeah.
can't say it
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, I'm so with you. And that's been such a lesson for me too. Like, getting hard on myself, like, oh, I made that mistake or whatever. I'm like, well, that's not helping, to get all riled up about that. And you just accept, like, okay, I'm just human and we live in this crazy world that's full of toxins. It's going to take time to change from that. It's a conscious effort. It's a conscious way of living and feeling and thinking. And yeah, it's, the oils that was a big one for me in using the essential oils as a tool to be present. And
Yes.
other things, movement does that for me, breath work. Actually, self massage and touch, I have found in the last year is so, so important to ground me, because I can get and I'm fiery and so I actually kind of like will push down on my thighs and be like, okay, let's ground. You're here, you're on the earth, and doing the face massage. Like, I think that's why I intuitively would like put pressure and pull my ears and like push here, because there was something so grounding about that touch, and then you inhale the oils and you're like, whoa, it's a reminder that you are here, human, connected to plants, connected to everything. And it's, and I love how you can just intuitively call in, especially like with my face stuff, with the oils, like I would read, this is good for this and this is good for that. But then in the end, you just kind of look at your oils and go, what goes nice together? Like I said, I love the black spruce and the ylang ylang. It's just like the grounding and the floral, and they're like,
Totally.
and you just have fun with it.
Mhm.
And then you go through phases where certain ones you're attracted to. And now I want to get more into the crystals and the guasha tools, because that to me is like such an amazing complement to the oils, and like being fun and creative and enjoying yourself. Like, meditation for me, I've become more like, I do this because I love it, not because it's like this health thing I'm supposed to check off on my to-do list. It's because I get to pause with myself and feel like what's happening. And and it just, and then bring in the things that I enjoy, the music, the oils, all the tools you just explained with the massage. Like, I'm like, how did I not spend more time? I think if I would have just spent the time with myself more, I would have naturally done these things, which I've done a little bit of them. But I'm like, wow, this is so empowering, and I'm going to adopt this, solely into my life, because that felt amazing. It makes sense too.
It's part of the holistic thing, right? Like, and it's not work to sit down
Yeah.
and like massage yourself. It is pleasure. It is
Right.
like something like you can do for yourself any time of the day, at any moment. I mean, if you're up in the middle of the night, sometimes I'm up in the middle of the night and I'm like massaging my face to relax myself, to like go back to bed.
Yeah.
It's, again, it's a tool, just like the crystals, like just like the oils. Like, these are tools for me, and everyone can have their own. There's so many combinations. It's like, I mean, you deal with it whatever you can. I'm even holding this one. This is one of my favorites. This is like this
Ooh,
little thing,
what do you do
and
with
you
that?
roll it down your fingers,
Oh
and so
my
it's
God, that's great.
these points, and it opens up. I do this before every face massage I give, so it opens up my channels. So now I'm channeling like way more energy. My hands have heat to them, which adds to that massage. Um,
I'm so
but
glad you brought that up, because I feel like we need to put so much attention into our hands, because we use them
yes,
constantly. And I'm always
yes,
like kind of like pulling on my joints like this, like massaging, because
yeah,
it needs it. But that is so cool, because it's like, it seems gentle, but like we were
it
talking
is.
about, sometimes you don't want to force the body. And that seems like a really nice way to open up the joints in the hands.
If you go on Amazon, you can see them.
What's
Like,
it called?
forget what it's called. I'll send you a little link to where I got.
Yeah.
But it was on Amazon. You can get like a package of them. I don't know. I saw it and I'm like, yes, I need to try this. And it's
Yeah.
been like my whole thing just from like trying. I think it cost like $2. I mean, it's like,
It's
it
like
doesn't have to be,
worth way more than that, really, when you're like, your body's being restored. You know,
totally.
with like, it's popular in the fitness world to use lots of like strong foam rolling and hard balls and things like that for different parts of your body. And I think there's totally a time and place for that. But I feel like there's not as much focus on really softer tools, because you know, in all the years I've taught alignment with people, I've seen you can't force the body into submission. You meet the body and it comes along when it wants to, you know, and then things really happen. And so I like a tool like that because it's not like this, you know,
Mm-hmm.
relax body, I need you to relax, you know, like I like a hard massage every once in a while too, but like it's there's many other ways to approach healing and
Mm-hmm.
relaxation through the fascia. And the fascia is a smart it's a
Mm-hmm.
communication system, you know. It's like amazing when you read about what they're researching with fascia. It's incredible. It's like another brain.
It is completely. It is. And I was listening to that emotions with essential oils, and she was explaining all the brains we have. You know,
Yes.
we have many brains in our body, and you know, I don't know. We don't fully. I mean, I don't fully understand my body. I'm always working on understanding it. I think the science world is still trying to figure it all out, right? Like a lot of the body is magic, and we just, you know, it doesn't make sense. And it just like, even, you know, having a baby and creating a baby, like it's such a magical thing. I don't like, it blows my mind when I'm sitting here like thinking about it, you know, like there's a person inside of me. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah. A whole other person.
mean?
Yeah.
And like you start feeling their, you know, I don't know, I'm really a very sensitive person. I've always been very sensitive. It's actually been like a struggle in my life, and I'm finally like coming to terms with it and working with it, and like it's just been incredible. And getting sober was like the beginning of that. um you know, like I think that's a big reason why I got high, because I needed to like get out of the very sensitive like state of mind, you know. I mean, like I could feel what other people are feeling just by being next to them, you know. I can almost hear what they're thinking. I mean, I'm just like hypersensitive when it comes to people especially, and that's a hard thing. You know, I mean, you think you're weird when you're a kid, like when you're all sensitive and stuff, you're like, you're just different, you know. I mean, most people are just like doing their thing, and you know, like in their, you know, and I'm like, oh, I could feel like, is this mine, is this yours, what is this? Like, I don't understand these feelings, why do I have these feelings, you know. And it was just like overwhelming. It was so much going on. I was born in New York City, so like, you know,
Oh,
that's a lot going on all the time, you know. And it's just been incredible to start like working with it and learning from it and building, like I've been working on my barrier and kind of like, when I want that to happen I can, but when I don't want that to happen, I like actively work on visualizing is a big thing for me. So I'll visualize like a lattice, like a, it's open, but it's also closed, you know, because I mean, my whole life, this has been the thing, you know. So I don't know. I'm just saying this. If anyone out there needs to hear this,
yeah.
maybe, I don't, you
Yeah,
know, it's
and I feel
powerful.
like I have those tendencies, those
Yeah.
empathetic tendencies too. And I love hearing this. And it's like, it's exciting because, you know, you're in this way, you're harnessing it as a superpower, you know, and it's going to develop into it. You know, I think we're taught that sensitivity is like a weakness, but it really is a strength if we can be balanced in ourselves and we can use it for good, you know. But it just takes learning and practice like you're doing. So
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Thank you. That's cool. I knew you were sensitive too. I could just tell. have it. And it's a superpower, you know, if you want it to be, it is. And embracing it, I recommend it.
This has been so amazing. I've learned so much, and I'm like really inspired, in terms of like my face,
Mhm, mhm.
hair, and connecting it to all the other practices that I do. Thank you so much. And I can't wait. I feel like you have so much more you could say. Like,
I do. I was like, before this video, I'm like, oh, I need to do like a 4 hour long class. I mean, there's so much. So I really only touched like the surface. And when you get your tool, maybe we'll do another one of these so we can really like start learning more about the points and what's happening energetically as well. You know, we'll get really into the whole like Chinese aspect of it, the Chinese medicine, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about the herbs that can go along with it. Like I use the blue lotus and it has that relaxing effect. So my face is so beyond relaxed, and it's because of like the combination of the blue lotus and the guasha and the massage. Like there's layers, you know, and
yeah,
figuring out for you in particular, because everyone, our chemistry is so different. And I just, I believe in like playing and learning and then creating your routine. Don't just like create a routine based on like what someone else says. You just need to like play and learn and stay open and
mm,
keep building. Yeah.
that's good advice.
Yeah. Mm.
Thank you, Maggie. This has been so amazing.
Oh. This is awesome. I love this. This is like, it's just like, I really needed this. And I had no idea that like this Friday 2 o'clock thing would be so inspiring. And like,
Me
it's
too. This is like the
incredible.
best idea I ever had. I'm like, yes, why haven't we been doing this? This is great. Like, this is just
She's
amazing.
good at, she's like, let's do this. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.